I am doing just fine. My lovely guest is here. I'm going to introduce to her in a moment. I'm just going to say some shout outs to everybody. I want to shout out to forgive me, you know what I'm like, Adipatian. So Paralympic basketball wheelchair user. He graciously gave me a little interview in Birmingham last weekend, when I went there. I just want to shout out to him and say thank you so much. Good morning, people. Good morning. I hope you can see my guests as well. Good morning. 1 second. I want to shout out to him. I want to shout out to all of the Paralympics that I met. Thank you so much for your time and your energy, for just having that moment to share with me. You lot are wonderful, absolutely wonderful, without a doubt. Good morning, everybody. Who else? I want to shout out to the family. I ain't going to go through all the names, it's going to be long, but especially I want to shout out to my dear friend Dino. I was so worried about him. I didn't hear from him for a good couple of months, and now he reconnected. So I'm really happy, and I'm hoping that he will stay well and get better so I can see him real soon. And that is it for now. Anyway, here's my lovely guest this morning. Her name is Nnandi.
Hello, nnandi55.
nnandi55. Welcome, nnandi55. How are you, my dear?
I am good. Good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming.
Yes.
Huh? We just had a little bit of a chat before we came on, you know what I mean? And it's nice. She's from Oakland originally.
Oakland, California.
And she said there's no good men there.
Oh,
well, there is. There is, but you know, not. You have to have a certain, you know.
They're all going to come for me. No, I said they're married. They're in committed relationships, or, you know, they're playing the field a bit.
Are they?
Yeah,
are they like Atlanta?
I hear it's similar. Which, interestingly enough, a lot of Californians moved to Atlanta.
Oh, do they?
So I wonder, I'm like, was it Atlanta before, or was it because Californians got there? I don't know. But yeah, there's a through line.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for joining. There's my lovely guest. I hope you can see her there as well.
Hello. A lot of beautiful people, a lot of artists there. So yeah.
So there's a lot of creativity.
Oh my goodness. Oakland, the Bay Area. So it's San Francisco Bay Area. And so that whole, oh my goodness, it's so much history and just so much political history, civil rights history, just a lot. So.
And you were saying California is next to Hollywood.
Well, California. So I'm from Northern California, and LA is Southern California. So LA is Hollywood.
Okay. Oh, that's good for.
It's not all Hollywood. Let me be clear. Yeah. But that's where Hollywood is. It's in LA.
It's in LA.
So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's for everyone who didn't know. Like I didn't know. So it's good to ask questions. Good morning.
And I'm naturally really loud, so.
But the accent, I just wanted to keep talking. I just want to keep quiet, just hear her, you know. So Nnandi, how are you? How are you truly inside? Let me start with that before we go forward. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. And I think that so many of us don't take the time to actually really tap in and know how we're actually doing. Yeah. And I'm one of those people that I'm always like, no, how are you really doing? I had a friend who tried to give me a surface answer, and then she went, what am I doing? I forgot who I'm talking to. You will keep asking me questions until we get to how I really am. So, because I'm just incapable of the small talk or the...
Yes.
Because I want to really know. So how am I really doing?
Yeah, how are you really doing?
I'm actually doing really well. I got to say that. I feel, though, that I am on top of a building. And I've just jumped off, to be fair. Because I've decided to just go and get the second wind of really pushing the artistry.
Nice.
And so, you know, it's been a journey. It's been a journey because there's been a lot of things, and it can be a very, very lonely road because so many people don't get it. They don't understand that need, that impulse to create, and or they've suppressed the feelings inside of themselves for so long that when you start talking about it, they're either inspired or they are actually upset, you know, like a bit angered because maybe they didn't follow their own dreams, or maybe they just think you're crazy or whatever it is. And so sometimes you have to keep a lot of things to your close to the chest, so that you're.
And it's sad, really, don't you think? Because you know, sometimes you want to share things,
absolutely,
and you think sometimes, who do you choose to share it with?
Absolutely.
And I'm a Libra, and I share with everyone. You know what I mean?
Wait. So you have a birthday?
Yes, my darling, October the 14th. Don't forget
There
the
it
present.
is.
Just
There
say
it
it.
I was like, wait, I know
Just
that.
saying.
Because my cousin's on the 27th.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I know that's Libra
See,
time.
this is why,
Okay.
you know, connection. You see, people, some people listen, unlike you all. Yeah, but as I was saying, sometimes you want to share your good news and your good fortune if it comes that way.
Yeah.
But not everybody's happy for you.
Yeah, I'm originally from California, like I said, Oakland. But I moved to New York, and it was a whole like pursue the dream kind of thing, very early on. And so it's not even just about sharing the good. Sometimes it's about needing that support because there's downs, a lot of downs.
Yes.
And I remember calling home, you know, for that support, and it just was like, you should come home. You should just come home. You should come. And I thought, okay, I can't call home anymore because they won't get that. No, there's going to be rough times, and I need the pep talk. This is me calling to get like you know, you can do it, you know, and instead it was just, but that's a whole nother thing. Not everybody as artists had parents that were that wanted them to necessarily do that. You know, my parents were about education, academics. You be a lawyer, you be, you know, somewhere in education. So growing up, that was just kind of, you know, So, I mean, now, of course, there's a lot of support, but those, you know, I'm like, I'm grown now. But, you know,
Oh, my word. So, Nnandi.
Yes.
I love that word. That
Nnandi.
Nnandi.
No, it's just Nnandi.
Nnandi. So spell it.
Zulu.
Zulu. I was going to ask you. Yes.
Right. So
what does it mean?
Exactly. So so the story behind that, my dad, not by profession, but he was a historian. He just, and specifically African culture, because as Black people, I know this is, moving here, I realized like everyone is their Caribbean or Caribbean. That's the better way to say it. Caribbean or African.
Yes.
And so there's a uniqueness that happens to Black Americans where, because of slavery and all of that, that we were so disconnected from culture. But my parents were very much about, I mean, they read everything they could get their hands on because our history didn't start at slavery. You know, white folks didn't determine our history, you know, just because they came in and messed, you know, things up. So it was always, I always knew my root was African. So even my name is African. So it's South African. I'm named after Nnandi, who's Shaka Zulu's mom.
Wow.
So she is the queen of queens. So even going back a couple of times and being able to be there on the soil with Zulu people.
Did you feel it there?
Oh my goodness. And it just, I have friendships for life that I've, you know, created and cultivated, being able to go back and forth to South Africa. But yeah, that's where the name is from. Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
But I'm American. I am American. But my father always taught us that we're African though.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter. He's not the only, it's Marcus Garvey, who's from the Caribbean.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You know, others, that thought of Black people, no matter where they were born, the root though is African. You know?
Because I've heard with Americans, don't come at me, they divide that. When you say you're African American, they will strictly say, no, I'm just American. What's that about?
Okay.
You know?
So so there's political reasons why some people say that.
Okay.
Because there's so many rights that we've been fighting for as Black Americans.
Okay.
I mean, everyone knows what's going on. I mean, they're killing us left and right. I mean, there's just so much that's going on in the States in terms of race and you know, just this understanding that America still just hasn't even apologized for the history, you know? I mean, it was founded on racism. You know, it's literally, we're there, Black Americans built the country, but they are, you know, the rights and the way they're treated, or the way we're treated, should I say, it's just so, part of saying American or Black American, making that distinction is just to say, because we are due reparations. We are due, you know, and again, we haven't even gotten a full, genuine apology, which should also come with, you know, certain things that they're, I mean, because listen, every time people throw around that word about reparations, they forget that everyone has gotten reparations. Even the Jewish community, and the Holocaust didn't even happen in America. You know what I mean? So, and you know, Native Americans, Asian Americans, they have had a certain level of reparations. And again, I'm not saying, because everyone should be getting more. Yeah. Native Americans, what they did to Native American, it's just, the list goes on in terms of what they've done to people of color or oppressed people, right? But Black Americans are the only ones that have gotten nothing. And then continue to be persecuted, killed, you know, just everything. And so that's what that's part of why they make the distinction, right? And then the other part is, again, we have been brainwashed, right? There's a lot of us that don't know that we're connected to African, you know, they don't, but that was also part of the plan. You know, I just saw where they were talking about, oh, these slaves are, they're, you know, fighting and we just need them to be slaves. Like, what do we do? And they literally got the expertise from a German scholar to find out how can we keep these people not fighting and wanting to like rebel. And what they said is because, well, they know their history. Yeah. So you have to make it so they don't know that they come from, you know, I mean, listen, we know what Africa is. Yeah. We know that that's the hub of civilization. We know, right, the greatness. And so they can't know that. Yeah. Right? So they literally, exactly. So what they would do strategically, when the ships would come in, they would strip babies out of the arms of moms. Yeah. So that, and then ship the parents somewhere else. Yeah. So they can actually just raise the children knowing, no, this is who you are. You don't come from any sort of greatness, any lineage, a land that, no. You're a slave and you come from nothing, or the brainwashing that they do and tell us about Africa. Oh, it's a jungle and it's poor and it's like all this stuff. So we've, you know, generation after generation, we've been fed that. Yeah. You know, so that's unfortunate. So then we don't want to have that connection, but we are absolute, when you know the truth is the point. When you know the truth. Thank you, Dad. May he rest in peace.
Oh, rest in peace. Yeah. Oh, is your mom still?
My mom's still with us, yeah.
She's still in America?
My mom is in San Francisco.
Okay. So you're not missing her being here?
I do. So more so I miss my family. Yeah. More than necessarily needing to, because you can go back, you can visit. But absolutely, I'm trying to convince her. Maybe she'll move here. Mom? maybe she'll move.
So how have you found it being here? How long have you been here?
So a year and a half.
A year and a half?
Yeah, consistently a year and a half. I used to visit. Yeah. But it's not the same when you actually live somewhere, here. Right? So
and what is the difference for you living here
versus
what's the good and the bad? Let's start with the good first.
Oh goodness. Okay. So I will say this. Yeah. I don't feel like I've been here long enough to fully make a real educated. Yeah. You know, I feel like you need to be somewhere about at least 3 years to go, okay, I've seen it all, the good, the bad, because right now I'm still kind of in the honeymoon stage. Okay, I'm like, it's so amazing. Yeah. Everything is amazing. You know, so, I mean, I've seen some things, right? Yeah. You know, it's not just America that's dealing with racism and classism and sexism and, you know, it's pretty much all over the world, right? Yeah. So I have seen those kinds of things.
And how does it match up to what's happening in America over here to you? What you've seen?
Right. So, okay, in context. Yeah. I feel like I'm here on visa. I love this place. Everything is beautiful. Okay. No, but this is my point, right? Because I think there's so many people that are in my position that are here that it feels like, whereas in the United States as a Black American, generations, my daddy's from there, my daddy's daddy, my daddy's daddy, you know, so I can say whatever the hell I want to say. Yeah, of course. Right? There's a feeling of like, look, this place, and you guys got to get it together. But I feel like as someone that I'm a visitor.
Yeah. So you're just,
you know what I mean?
That's no problem.
So I'm in the observation stage. Okay. Right. What I would say is that we know history. Yeah. We know that, you know, lovely Britain, Great Britain. We know that. So the joke is, what I saw it online, and someone said, "What can London or UK be proud of?" And someone made the comment, "Oh, well, they're responsible for the most Independence Days around the world." I tell you. And maybe we'll just leave it at that.
Yes.
So happy Independence Day to all the nations that have been a bit under rule and thumb and colonized.
So what have you enjoyed about being here?
Oh gosh, culture.
The culture,
and
yeah.
I mean, because there's just so many, right? And so there's Caribbean culture. Oh, I did for the second time. The
Carnival?
Yes,
you went to the carnival.
Yeah? Yes, so
How
it was like
it?
Carney. I was told you're supposed to say Carney. It was great.
Yeah.
And I know I'm late to the party. There might be some. It's like me with Labor Day Parade in New York. It's been going on so long that a lot of people go, it's not the same. It was not the same as it used to be. So I'm learning the history about that too. That it was started from a Trinidadian woman, and just about coming together and celebrating the culture, because there was originally, we talk a lot, and this is what I mean when I say it's everywhere. It's everywhere, but fighting for the rights and just to, be recognized and respected for your culture. And so that's what Carney came out of, and so I'm like, there's definitely some through lines, but that's Black people all over the world. Yeah. If, I've been blessed to do some traveling, and I have not gone everywhere I want to go, but it seems like, Black people, there's beauty and just, I was just telling a friend of mine, I was like, it's beautiful over here. When I say over here, I mean being a Black person. It is absolutely beautiful. It's marvelous, but it doesn't mean it hasn't come with some pain and struggle. So,
Oh, thank you for sharing that. At least we know on the other side. So Nnandi, let's tell the viewers and listeners what you do.
Ooh, so I'm a singer-songwriter. There's other things that I do. I studied acting and writing and screenwriting, and I write plays. I mean, so it's but New York, I will say, is really, really big on just diversifying. So because all the arts, they really feed into one another. It just makes you stronger. If you're a director, if your background is in writing and acting, just makes you a better director. It's that kind of thing where it all kind of feeds in. And I had a theater director out of University of California at Santa Cruz. So Slug Life, banana slugs. That's our mascot, which is so weird. But we would win original mascot every year. But my theater director there, he said then, he was like, "Hey, learn everything." Yeah. Because you just never know. We were learning how to build sets, how to do the lighting for theater. I mean, we were learning so many different things, because you never know how the opportunity will come, or what you might end up being really passionate about. So he said, just learn it. Try to learn as much as you can. So I would say there's a lot of things in my tool belt. But what's in the forefront right now is music, singer-songwriter, and I'm really excited about that. And what I also know, again, I've already laid the background, so you guys know I'm about community. So that's usually what my writing is about. It's about self-love and community. And so I was like, I don't want to do this journey alone. There's that African proverb about, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Go together. Right? And so I've built a community called I Am Blues Folk. So it is simply about, it's a global online artist or creative community. And my goal was, I was trying to find it for myself here, because being new, I'm like, where's the community? Of artists? Where are we at? Difficult, And it was I was trying to find it, and I was like, well, maybe just create it. I'm sure there are some here. But, sometimes we start getting cliquish. We get into our own little, and I'm just like,
that's mine, which is so sad.
So, and you get comfortable, right? This becomes like your comfort zone. And for me, I was like, well, I'm not originally from here. And I know there's other people that may be seeking this type of support. And so I said, well, if I do it online, it could be global. It could be people from San Francisco, people from, Johannesburg, Durban. It could be people in Germany and wherever, New York, being a part of this, I Am Blues Folk community. And so it's like we'll have sessions twice a week, right? One is for the artist called Artist Circle, and it's dealing with different issues that you would have to face kind of going through this artist journey. So our first one, which is coming up September 29th, which is a Sunday, it's all about fear.
Oh.
And how does fear block you? How does it stop you from achieving?
Then again, the question is, do you take fear on board? I'm gonna give you that question because I done a skydive.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I took fear away.
Okay.
Yeah, I refused to have fear to do that. You know?
Interesting.
Yeah, you have to, because they did say it's a false evidence remaining real, as they say.
Yeah.
But you have to take it away from you. Otherwise, we will not step and do things outside our comfort zone.
Yeah, we will not. And whereas for you, it's skydiving.
Yeah.
That's something I would never do. And it's not fear, it's because the drop. So I used to do roller coasters.
Oh, yeah,
and at a certain point, it started to actually not feel good. Like my stomach would do some, so where people would drop and go, whoa, I would drop and holding on to my stomach. So I said, okay, this is not, so it was less about fear, but it was giving me like pain and like it just, it wasn't feeling good. So skydiving obviously would be that same kind of drop. So I would have to do,
what would you take your fear? What is it you're fearful of now? Let's just think of anything, and that you'd have to put to the side and say, you know what, I've got to do it. I've got to do it.
Wait, I'm asking that question again. It sounded like it was amazing, so I want to really hear it.
So, what is it that fears you that you want to take away and just do? You know what I mean?
Interesting.
It can be anything.
I know.
It took me a year to get rid of the fear before I done the skydive.
Yeah.
I meditated. I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. You know, I spoke to myself. I spoke to God. I done all that, you know? Yeah.
Okay, so I will say this. Yes. I've done the work. I have been doing the work for a very long time. And when I say the work, I mean the work on myself.
Okay.
Which is the hardest work you will ever do. I'm always telling people, go in. Don't, we point a lot of fingers, but it's like, go in. What can you do? What can you make a change? How can you make things better? So I've done the work so much that my fear now, whereas it used to be, I'm not good enough, I'm not whatever enough, got some more weight to lose, this, that, third. Instead of it being that, now my fear is just that I won't accomplish everything I want to do before I'm no longer on the planet. Does that make sense? Yeah.
So now I am no what do you call it, but I'm just going to say this to you.
Okay.
Do everything now.
Yep.
Simply like that. Tomorrow's not promised.
I receive it.
Yeah? Do everything now.
I receive it.
Always put yourself in an uncomfortable position. We're so used to being comfortable. I'm used to having my chocolate, my crisps. I'm used to it. Now I'm trying peanuts. You know what I mean? So try and put yourself in an uncomfortable position. You will see growth. That's what I believe anyway.
I believe that. I absolutely believe. And it's interesting because obviously judgment was a big fear for me at one point.
Judge. You know what I mean? They will always judge.
And see, the thing is, as a creative, you're presenting things. And so it's a weird kind of interaction and connection that you have with people because you're showing something. So you do want people to like you. You do want people to, and not just like you, like the work that you're doing and that you're showing.
And the time that you spent on the work you've done as well, you know?
And so there's the validation that, so there's that. But also just understanding that, you're not everybody's cup of tea, right? Not everybody so I have my own, singers, songwriters, whatever that I enjoy, that they're not the most popular. They're not on everyone's radar. But to me, I'm so thankful that they didn't go, well, if I don't sound like Whitney Houston, I can't do this. Right? If I don't sound like Aretha Franklin, I can't do this. If I can't dance like Janet Jackson, I can't do that. Like, I'm so glad some of the artists that I just love found that confidence, found that voice and did it, because there are people, you'll find your community. You'll find the people that want to hear what you have to say or what you're doing. And so I think the family part, that the piece that we were talking about offline, And so, like I said, there's support now, but growing up, and that's a lot of artists' story, right? A lot of creatives, you're kind of influenced to go another direction because, you know, the family doesn't understand. Parents want you to do something that's secure and stable. And of course, COVID taught a lot of us that things aren't very stable. So it's like, you might as well do what you love, right? But because of that, I feel like that was the biggest fight for me. That was the biggest thing, the judgment of my family.
Yeah.
You know, going, you know, finally taking a stand and going, this is who I am.
Yeah.
This is what I want to do, you know. And so if I could do that with them, oh, well, you know, it was like the outside world wasn't as like, okay, that's fine. You won't like me. Maybe you don't like my hair. You don't like my whatever, you know, like that. It doesn't matter as much because I'm like, oh, my family, they get what's going on now. They're with me.
Yeah. It's always when you succeed and everybody says,
yeah. So it is the fear now. And I'm trying to do away with that because that does cause some anxiety. But it's like, will I be able to get everything done that I want to do before?
You will.
Yeah.
When you say it like that, just put it to the universe. You will. You will.
Yeah.
You know? Definitely so. So later on, Nnandi's going to sing for us.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm excited, but not now because I'm going to be questioning there.
It's early. I'm going to try to get some water in. Me.
Oh dear. So Nnandi, Nnandi's married to a British man, people.
I am.
How did you meet him? If you don't
Very
mind me
interesting.
asking.
Oh, no. I love the story because, again, I wasn't looking.
Yeah.
So I was doing a lot of traveling when I lost my father. It was about 7 years ago. And the way I dealt with it was just taking off. And, you know, I know that's, it's a blessed position to come from that I was able to do that, just kind of get away and just figure things out. And so in my traveling, I just kind of thought, wouldn't it be cool if wherever I went, I interviewed other creatives. And that was the inception. That was the beginning of I Am Blues Folk, forming that community, right? And so I would do that. I would search online and literally find people and go, hey, I'm going to be in your area. Can I interview you? Can I have a little bit of the Oprah spirit, I think. Can I interview you and talk to you about, you know, and what I would do is I had about 10 questions and no matter where I went, I would ask the same questions. And depending upon where they were from, gender, culture, the answers would be different.
Yeah.
So it was almost like this, like, sociological experiment too that I was doing. Like, wow, isn't this crazy? Like, this person is from here, so oh wait, no, but they answered the same with but anyway, my husband, he was one of the people that I interviewed. Yeah, he's an artist.
Were you
he's
traveling
an illustrator
to the country where he was at, or you came here? And
so I came here. So when I was so I'd come to London before, but one of the times this was visiting, I actually, you know, looked up some people to interview. Yeah. And he was one of them.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, absolutely. He's a fine artist. So it's, you know, illustration, painting. That's that's what he does.
So does he draw people?
Oh, yeah.
He tell him it's my birthday. So draw me, please.
When we walked in, I wish I had it now. There's a purse that I walked in and you were like, I love the purse.
Is that him?
That was him. Yeah.
People, she walked in with this bag, and I thought it was African inspired. How it looks.
But it is. That's the art that he does. Interestingly enough, yeah.
Tell him, Auntie Jenny loves you. Oh. Please, you got to do me, man. Please,
we got
it's my birthday. Please. The piece is so beautiful, people. Oh my gosh, it's absolutely beautiful. Is that you on the bag?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think people assume that. Can I grab it?
Yes, go get it. People, if you see this bag, hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you. The bag is magnificent. Oh my God, it's my type of thing. Look at this, peeps. Can you see it here? Look. He should have drawn it. This is what a husband does, you know.
So yeah, I made him. I will say this: I made him do it. So because he's you know, painting on canvases and these beautiful, amazing, right. And then I go, hey, can you put some on a purse for me?
That is beautiful.
So he does this sometimes too, to appease. Really? There's people that want things here and there. And so, but he's, you know, he
does look like you anyway.
I know. People always say it looks like me. But it wasn't me. But maybe from his imagination,
looks like
it was inspired by.
Beautiful people look. And you know, I'm the second to be getting something because my birthday. Just saying. You can find him on Instagram at Fine Art. That's it. Fine Art, and he spells it PHY. NE and then art. PHYNEART. That's right. Instagram. Well done, hubby. Well done. That's really, really good. Well done.
Yeah. And so so he obviously is a part of the I Am Blues Folk community. It's not just singers and songwriters. It's about I mean it. I mean, it's chefs. Because that's I'm talking about creatives.
Okay.
You know, like that's how people that, you know, from makeup artists to clothing designer, like it's all of the arts, the whole, it's still a very similar journey. So I Am Blues Folk, and you can find me on Instagram as well, that same way. I Am Blues Folk. And Blues Folk is one word. It's blue like the color, or blues like the music, and then folk like people. So blues folk. I Am Blues Folk.
So what is that to do? Is it for people to just talk about their...
So every week it'll be, because I wanted that. I wanted to try to find a space where I could go to and just release, right? There's a lot of things out there about, you know, showing your artwork or doing a gig, a show, a performance. And so there's a lot of, okay, let's do it. But I realize in just the isolation sometimes that you can feel as an artist, I wanted a place that I could go where I can just get a lot of everything just off my chest. And we can get real, just really real. You know, I found that LA has followed me everywhere. And shout out to my good friends that are actually from LA. So what happens with LA is that there's a lot of people that move there from other places and give LA a bad name. Because if you don't know, there's this like...
it's a bit...
Well, I do this, and, you know, well, who do you know? Who's your agent? And what do you have? What do you do? There's a lot of that. But I realize that it's from people that are not from LA that kind of put on the airs, or maybe they're trying to escape who they were. And so they can reinvent themselves in LA. So there's a lot of that. But I actually have really close girlfriends that are from LA. So I know if you're originally from LA, no, you're real. You're good. You're not, of course, they're beautiful, of course, but they're not the phony part of it, you know, the superficial, where it's just about what you have, what you do. So I realized that it's not just LA. Apparently that mentality can be a lot of places. So I unfortunately had a couple of those situations even here, and I kind of thought, okay, that's interesting. What I want is just a place where people can just keep it real. Like I had a shitty day.
Sorry. That's what I'm going to say, is just sorry. Sorry, mommy. Let's take it in and we take it out.
People. It didn't happen.
That's right. So
I have spent some time on and off as a substitute teacher. So I know how to keep it clean. So sorry. So I want, you know, where you can just say.
And the thing is with a podcast and things like that, you can say, you know. On the radio, you have to be a little bit more, you know.
Sorry, hope we can. But, you know, I just want people to feel like they're home. Feel like it's a safe space. That's what I'm trying to create. And that's why even the first topic that we deal with is fear. And just how has that blocked you? In what ways has it blocked you? And then what are some things we can do to kind of get ourselves out of it, right? So there's going to be other topics.
You can use my
I'll talk about the skydiving, absolutely. But it is absolutely just that place where we can just keep it real about what's happened with the week.
And how long will that session be for people to
so about an hour and a half.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to start with centering ourselves with a quick meditation just to get the day and the week off of us, right?
Yes.
It's on a Sunday. It's every Sunday, 5:30 to 7. And you can find it online. Honestly, so here's what I will say. Let me first say this.
Please.
You can find me. The best thing to do is just to go to Instagram. I am Blues Folk. That's where I'm at. And then once you're there, you can click on, there's a button that says it's Linktree / nnandi55. All of what I'm doing comes up. It all comes up. So there you'll find where you can click on Artist Circle and you can click on Tea Time with nnandi55, right? So there's a couple of things that happen each week and it just keeps happening over and over again. Twice a week we check in with one another. So Tea Time with Nandi is what nnandi55 is one of those like tabloid gossip, the gossips that's going on with the celebrities, right? But it's with the twist.
Oh,
because I'm deep. I'm a very deep person. If you haven't, I like to go deep. So we'll go from that, but then we'll start talking about how does it apply to our own lives, and how do we avoid the same pitfalls that we're seeing.
I like it already.
So that's Tea Time with Nandi. That happens in the morning, literally like tea time. Friday mornings, 9 to 10. Okay. And all of this is online. All of it is online. And I'm going to have it won't really be tea. I'm going to tell you now. It'll probably coffee.
Oh, coffee. Yeah, because you love coffee.
I'm with tons of sugar. Unfortunately, I'm an American. We put a lot of cream and sugar. But I'll be there with my robe and tea or coffee. But everyone can be in their robe. It's totally fine, and drinking their whatever gets you up in the morning. And it's the tea, right? It's the celebrity tea, and then how it applies.
And you're right, because certain parts do apply to you, isn't it? But we try to not admit it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But see, that's what I'm saying. I've been doing the work on myself, and I'm still doing it. I'm not there yet. I'm not perfect in any way. But I've been doing the work on myself for so long that I realize that's part of what I do. I look at these things like what's happening with J-Lo and Ben Affleck. And, it was like I was rooting because it's like they were together and then it didn't happen. Then it came back together. But then I thought about it and went, what does that mean in terms of working on your art? So single-mindedly, how do you maintain a relationship?
Yeah.
How do you make it work when you're juggling these loves of your life? And who gets the time and when you're at that level, that means you're all over the place. How do you make time for one another? How do you so I'm like, everything can apply. Everything can apply, and you can figure out what are ways you can and try to avoid some of the pitfalls. Some of the pitfalls.
I want to ask you something.
Absolutely.
So you've been doing self-love, which I love. Have you taken accountability for your self-love journey? Is there anything you said along the way, I am sorry I done that? Oh, I'm sorry I didn't see that. You know what I mean? Is there anything like that with your journey that you've crossed? Yeah.
And so the thing with self-love, and I just was saying this to a friend of mine who, she might be back now, but she just was on her way to a yoga retreat.
Okay.
Talk about self-love, Wow. She was self-care as a part of that self-love.
Yes.
But I said, I don't think we're there.
Nah.
I don't think we're there. And I think that though I feel like I might be a little bit further because I've been for years working on myself. Because I'm saying I even have family members that sometimes it's hard to have conversations with because the love is just not there.
Gosh, yeah. Tell me about it. Let's keep that real.
Woo! And so I know everyone is struggling with it. I know everybody. And I'm saying go to Instagram, go to I Am Blues Folk. And, I'm saying that. But Instagram is also kind of a part of this weird self-doubt and self-hate even more that we have for ourselves.
It can be toxic as well.
Yeah, because we're looking online and people that see. So a part of what I learned as a playwright is, it's heightened. It's heightened sense of the time. It's not just the everyday that you're writing about, right? And so that's what Instagram is too. It's just a heightened, sense of people's lives. Yeah. It's not their everyday. It's their moments that are the best moments.
That's right.
That they're putting online. And then we're thinking, we're comparing ourselves and going, well, then what's wrong with me? And wait, why don't I look like that? Hello, filters. That's a thing. Yeah. I use them. So that's how I know, like, okay, yeah, everything. Look, I have on, okay, I will be honest. There's people that are true makeup artists out there, and I can't be, I'm too low maintenance. So I try to just focus on my eyes, because thank you, Grandma, I inherited the raccoon, the dark circles under the eyes, and also my behavior, right? I don't sleep as well as I should, blah, 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 all those things. But so I focus on my eye, and maybe I'll do a lip. So yeah. I know there's people that do a full on, and I know that's art in itself. But I say all that to say makeup is also another filter, right? So there's so many things that we do that's not like, I'm just saying, if everybody stripped it down, the clothes off, right? Yeah. All the, and just were who they are, people would see that there's so many similarities, and that people are imperfect. People are flawed, even like personalities. Yeah. We're not, the self-love piece. It's like we're all, a lot of us are just, we're trying to put the best foot forward. Yeah. But there's so many times that because of Instagram and things like that, you can fake it. Big time. You can just pretend that everything is okay. And so with my own personal friendships and people that I know, they know that I'm incapable. Like I was saying before, I'm incapable of the small talk, of the and I know how to put it on. Come on. I lived in LA for a while. I lived, I know how to do it. I just would prefer, I posted one time, if it requires me being fake, I'm probably not going. Like that, because sometimes I'm just at the point now where
it's too much work.
Oh my God, it's
too
so
much work.
It's so much work sometimes. Yeah, and this is going on, and this is happening. Sometimes it's it's like I know I'm on the radio right now, so I do have to promote and talk about what I'm doing. But sometimes it's just those down moments, and just know everyone, whether they are super famous to just what do they call it, getting out the mud, as they say, or from the ground up, which is from the ground up. I'm doing this journey.
It's a lot, dear. It's a lot. It's a lot.
We're all going through very similar things, and I think that we can also look at where we are as humans, right? Yeah. We can look at the world, and we can, for me, it's just a telltale sign that we don't have enough love for ourselves, right? Because you behave completely different.
Yeah. I find that we're ungrateful. I always say that. I say, God, take this world away because we're ungrateful humans. I always say it. We're ungrateful.
Yeah. You walk into a room different, and it's not a me. It's just an inner glow. Yeah. Like I can see when people have that, where it's like, regardless of the flaws or whatever, like I can look in the mirror and truly say, no, I love me. Yeah. I really do love me, and I wouldn't want to be anybody else.
That's right.
I really would not. and it takes a while to get there, but I do feel like what we're seeing in the world and what's playing out is people that are just not loving who they are and secure in who they are. And so, they say misery loves company, don't they? Yeah.
So if you want to be around it, no.
So if you are struggling, that's where the jealousy and the envy and the hate, all that stuff, that's where it's stemming from,
You heard it here, people. You heard it here. Try and start loving yourself more and stop trying to be like anyone else,
Yeah. What would you tell your friend?
Exactly.
What would you tell your friend? We don't say that enough to ourselves. We don't. We can give out the kindness, but we are so hard on ourselves. We really are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry. I got lost in the accent. I need a bit of orange juice. Sorry, people. I just want to say hello to you all. I haven't waved to you. Sorry. One sip. Hold on. So, Nnandi, let me ask you, what are you grateful for in your journey? And don't be nicking my questions to put on your own thing,
Wait, say that again?
Don't be nicking my questions.
Oh, I'm absolutely stealing everything.
Look, she's a thief.
I'm stealing it all.
Yeah.
I love these type of interactions because it makes you think, it makes you grow, it makes you dig deeper. Yeah. So I love this. You're amazing.
Oh, and God, so are you,
really thank you for having me. I can't even tell. No. So talk about gratitude. Yeah. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for you.
Oh, I'm grateful for you,
and I'm grateful for your energy because this is what I mean about community, you know, just being around that good energy to make you feel like, yeah, let me keep going. I can do this,
absolutely.
you know? And so if I'm completely honest, so I do something, it's called a gratitude journal.
Ooh, so you write that? Or
yeah,
you
I do. And I actually call it an appreciation journal. Yeah, you know why? Okay, so I switched the language a little bit from gratitude to appreciation. And I know it's just a sleight of hand and it may not make full sense, but sometimes when I say gratitude, it makes me feel like gratitude. Like I feel like I'm doing this, a little bit of a hunching of the shoulders. Okay. Like it's coming from a very humble, a very, like, I feel like I'm going under to say it.
To say it, okay.
Whereas, and it's nothing wrong about being humble, of course. That I don't fully mean it that. But I mean, appreciation makes me do this.
Rise up, yeah.
It's something about,
yes.
I don't know. My shoulders are a bit higher, and they're a bit.
And why shouldn't you appreciate a bit taller. You should appreciate you.
Well, but even saying, I'm saying I'm grateful. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Right. So the switch in language for me is like, I appreciate you. I appreciate your spirit. I appreciate your being, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to be here. Somehow I feel like that comes from it feels more empowering to me to say that. The appreciation so I have an appreciation journal, and I appreciate waking up in the morning.
Yes.
I appreciate, being able to, have a partner. At this stage in my life. And because I didn't always have partners.
Gosh.
So we were together, but we weren't partners. More so like enemies.
Yep.
So, ladies, I know you feel me.
I do, 1000%.
And I won't just say ladies. I know men have gone through that as well. But there's definitely something to finally feel that you have a partner, right? So I'm appreciative of that. I'm a stepmom now.
Yeah. How's it feel?
I am. It's been a journey.
Yeah.
He's so amazing and so beautiful and just, I'm appreciative because see, there's things that kids, like I said, I was on and off doing some substitute teaching and, and I come from a family of educators. And so I know the importance of children. I love them. They teach you so much about yourself.
Yeah.
They really, really do if you're listening and not just thinking, well, I'm the grown up. So they just need to hear from me and I need to tell them this and they need to do this. And every child is implanted with their purpose.
I like that.
They know what their journey is.
Shout out to my grandkids, you are.
They know. They're here for a reason. They're here for a reason. I think what happens, and like what happened to me was I was influenced and encouraged, and also there was demand
as well
for me to go in a different direction. But children know exactly. They know who they are. Our role really is just guidance, so that they, this is who you are. Well, let me guide you closer to that, and let me, make sure you're not getting hit by the bus. You're not going to just run out into the street. So safety and guidance, but they're clear. They're clear on who they are, and so, I'm grateful for having that young energy in my life on a more regular basis. Right? I'm grateful for talent and skill,
course,
and I'm grateful for my mother. I'm great. The list goes on.
So you write every day your appreciation?
I do. And what I would love to do is start the day and end the day that way.
Yeah.
But if I'm honest, it's the same with meditation.
Yeah.
I'm not the best all the time at getting it done. But what I will do is that mental check, though. That happens. Because God is with me all the time, in every single thing that I do. And people think you have to go somewhere for God. You don't. God is right here. Yeah. And it's always about my personal relationship with spirit, whatever you want to, spirit, universe, God, whatever you want to call it. I have a very, very special connection. And so I'm always kind of in that zone, in and out. trying to silence sometimes the outside world. I can get so much. So I'm grateful or appreciative.
And you've given me scope, because I'm going away for my 2-day retreat this week.
Ooh.
I know I needed it after a whole year. I need it. And now I haven't written for a long time.
Okay.
But you've just given me that buzz now to get my book and write about appreciation, what I'm appreciative about, you know?
Yeah.
And that's great. Oh, my girl, Terry, stop.
Oh my goodness.
Libras, we just cry for anything, you know. Oh my God.
That's right. Join the I Am Blue Spoke family.
I will.
These are the kind of interactions that I live for. Like I don't, and I know not everybody has the time that we have right now to just sit down and talk, but when you are sitting down to talk, I'm always like, what are you talking about? You know? So that's what I mean. Sometimes we get caught up in the celebrity stuff, right? And the outside stuff, but there's so much depth in the inside of us, you know, that dreams that we want to talk about, and family and all kinds of things, you know, that we can talk about that are so much more fulfilling, I think.
So people, in 4 minutes, we're going to go for a break. So you'll have a nice 5-minute break. And I can say hello to you all, because I haven't waved to you. Hello, everyone. I love the beat. Instagram and on Goddess Jazzy. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so grateful. Nandi's grateful as well. No, she ain't grateful. We appreciate
you. I'm grateful too. It's fine.
I'm grateful as well. You know. Hello, people on TikTok. Thank you. Thanks again for joining. Really, really grateful as well. Hello, Lady Bibi. Hiya. Yes, she'll be singing. She will be. Aww. Just wait. I need to find out more. So what is your favorite sport? Do you do any sports?
Oh yeah, so I was an athlete for my life, really. And so fitness is a big part of that. Fitness and health still in my life. But yeah, I was track and field.
So what is that?
So Okay. So I wasn't the fastest runner. So when I say track and field, I mean the field. So I did the shot put, the discus, and the javelin. And I actually, So I actually became pretty good at the shot put. To the point where I was gonna get my whole family, actually, with my brother and my sister were athletes. So we all pretty much got scholarships to go to university. Like that's how much we were, you know, very, very. But what I did, because I'm the rogue person in the I'm the one they always kind of had to keep an eye out on. I was like, but I want to be an artist. Even then, I was really just trying it. So I actually declined. I had a partial scholarship to go to UC Berkeley, and instead I was like, I really want to do this art thing.
You was more passionate for that.
I was, and you know, my parents, bless them, you know, they even had a attorney, you know, solicitor, you guys call it, mentor, right? Who she just later became my friend. Because she was the one that said, look, if you are not passionate about the law, and it doesn't mean, listen, I feel like people can have, you can have different lives, right? So the law might be something I revisit later on. Like, it's not going anywhere. But that's what she told me then. She's like, it's not going anywhere. Why don't you go to a school where you can do dance, you can theater, you know, like, you know, just explore that, if that's what you're passionate about. And so my law mentor ended up being just being my friend, because she told me do that instead. So, but yeah, I was really, I'm talking about every day track practice, track meets on the weekend. Bless my father. I mean, the type of traveling that we did, we had track meets all over all over the country. Wow. So California is the West Coast. New York is the East. I'm talking about everywhere in between, with track and field. We had competitions and things like that. And so, that was a big part of it. So you must have got a lot of medals, and did you get a lot of medals and awards? So the joke growing up was, I don't know who's going to be able to date you. They're going to come in and see all the trophies and medals and go, okay. And the first thing your dad's going to be, so where's your medals? What event do you do? You know? And I'm just like, wow. But I'm talking about drawers and drawers and drawers of ribbons and, you know, trophies. I'm talking about, like, from the floor up, like huge trophies, all of that. My brother, my sister, and I included, we were blessed with having that talent of being able to do track and field really well. My brother went on to do football, you know, and let me be clear, American football. not, we call it soccer.
We're going to be back in 5. Oh, I'm going to put this on mute. There. So you can have a little break. Mute. Oh yeah, that's all right. Right. Let me just get back on there. And Okay. Welcome back to the Goddess Jazzy show. That was a quick break. Me and Nandi had some other talk.
Oh yeah.
You know, while I muted you, and it was very interesting because we came from the same place, which was lovely.
Absolutely.
You know? And we're happy that we're out of it, thank God.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, like I was saying, people, Nandi will be singing. How long do you want to sing until? Do you want another extra 10 minutes before you start, or?
Oh no, I can go in. I wish I had, the music so you can, I really love live music. So just, like some sort of like my electric guitar thing happening. Not that I play. I really wish I would.
I wish I could have played the bass. Oh God.
Oh my God, I should have picked up the guitar. But yeah, so you'll get the feel. I am blues, rock, soul music.
Nice.
So it's definitely a rock kind of blues feel. I'll give you a little bit here.
Yeah.
You guys ready?
Okay, all the mics are on? Right.
Back when I was blind in love with you, there was no wrong that you can do. And even though everybody that I knew told me I shouldn't be through loving you, oh, through loving you. 11 months and 5 days it's been, and 2 hours, still no decision, and I don't know what to do about me and you, and I can't seem to choose. Oh, between my heart, my mind, my body, my soul, and I've lost it all. You got total control, and I don't know what to do about me and you, and I can't seem to choose. Oh, but oh, back when I was blind in love with you, there was no wrong that you can do. And even though everybody that I knew told me I shouldn't be through loving you,
Oh my gosh! Now I'm going to give you the best. I'm going to give you the best compliment right now. You better take it.
Oh,
you remind me of Tina Turner.
Well,
Oh my God, you do.
Well,
you do.
She's my one.
Yeah, you do. That was beautiful, isn't it, peeps? Isn't it? Yeah, I know.
And let me tell you something about Tina, if you may not have already known.
Yeah.
American, but chose here as her home because America didn't love her the same.
What?
And this is what I mean.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And this is what I mean when I say about this idea of self-love and self-worth. And also just, you find your community and you grow your community. And she did. She found that, and there's an American interview of her where someone went, but don't you miss America?
Yeah.
Don't you? She was like, yeah, sometimes I do. And then she went, but here I'm as big as Madonna.
Wow.
But here, and this is what I can say when you talked about the good, or what are some of the differences that you see. What I found about the audiences here is that you guys really, really just love music. You're not going, well, if you're not half naked, we can't listen to it. If it's not pop, we can't listen to it. I feel like you guys really go, this is something interesting. This is something maybe even different, or this is something like, we can feel the passion, the soul. Let's see what more is going on. Yeah. And I think sometimes in the States, unfortunately, it's like you have to be a type.
Oh.
You kind of have to fit into, and I think a lot of entertainers that don't fit into. So there's, Michelle Ndegeocello. She's going to be out here performing.
I've heard about her for a long time.
Right, yeah, but I know she found a lot of love here.
Yeah.
There's the list goes. Tracy Chapman. The list goes. Her. The list goes on in terms of the people that you all, being in Europe, being in London, have embraced. That the States just kind of went, okay, yeah.
And that's it, like that.
Yeah. It's more like, well, we want you to be like Beyonce.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? Beyonce, Rihanna. That's kind of, you gotta some derivative of that, and I'm just like, that's not me. I love them. I think they're, I think they're amazing for what they do, but I'm just like that. It's never really, listen, we've already had a full conversation. You guys know what's going on with me. So when I write, a lot of times it's also about bringing up the self-love and the community and things like that, even within my writing. And then, that song, beautiful. Back when I, Through It Loving You, literally touches on what we were talking about off camera. Yeah. But it's that self-love piece. Back when I was blind in love with you, there was no wrong you could do. And then you have your, right? Then you have your friends saying, what are you doing? Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
But
So you're tired of explaining, you're just like, come on.
Yeah. But they're trying to tell us, and we just until you know you're worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. More than Timothy. Just say.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So Nnandi, I want to ask you. I normally ask my guests this question more closer to the end, but I'm going to ask you now.
Oh, please.
If there's one thing you'd like to change in this world, just one, what would it be and why?
So I already know what it is, but I feel like I've been saying it. They're going to be like, all right, already. We get it. We love ourselves now. You've said it enough. We believe it. We love ourselves. So this is
the one.
Well, no, I'm saying I've been on it. When I say I've been on it for a long time. So in university, right? I used to rap when I was little. My father was like, that's what you ain't gonna do. So I quickly turned the rapping into poetry.
Okay.
And then the poetry became songwriting, right? So that's the journey of the writing part. But when I was in university, I did a poem. And I might be paraphrasing at this point. It's very short, but it was very short, but that was the point of it being short. I remember saying, Black women are beautiful. No need to ask any questions. No, it's not up for debate. Besides, I don't have the time. I'm too busy trying to convince them. This was my paraphrasing. I did it much more poetic, but we're talking about uni. That was, it was like 17 years old. But this is what I mean when I say I've been on that journey of trying to go, wait, no, but if you believe you to be beautiful, I can believe me to be beautiful. We're mirrors of each other. We are mirrors of each other. And so there's something about when you see a woman walking around and it's not where she's snobby, but she's radiating, with certain level of confidence and just kind of just love. And that's what I want. So the question, what would I change? Because I honestly feel like, but even as a people, the suffering, the things that we've had to endure, I honestly believe that a lot of the oppression was about stripping us of the love that we have of ourselves. Yes. So that somehow I was looking at you as an enemy. I wasn't looking at you as my sister. Yeah. Right? They divide and conquer. That's really, they have mastered that. Ooh. So much so that, again, there's so much, hate living in us that we don't even recognize, from the littlest to the biggest. And I hear it sometimes. It always hits my ear differently when I hear someone say something that isn't saying, I don't like myself. It never really comes out like that. Yeah. But you see the patterns, you see behavior, you hear some of the words that are being used, and you go, okay, that's what's happening right there. And I feel like there would be a different way in which we connect with one another if we really saw the beauty in one another. Definitely. But you got to see it in yourself first before I can see it in you. So that would be
your
that's the one. That's the one. Imagine, you know what I mean? Like, imagine if someone's trying to tell you you're not worth it. Are you not worthy? Or you're less than in some way. If you're truly believing it, you're like, okay. All right. And the way you move, you're going to want to put that, instill that into other people. So your words become encouraging to other people and motivating to other people. Like, imagine we all walked around like that. And that's not phony.
No.
I don't mean it in a phony way, because you can also tell them today was a bad day.
Yeah.
This was a rough day today. I didn't feel like even getting out of bed because blah, blah. You can still do that too. It's every day. It's every day. You have to unlearn and you have to speak power into yourself every day.
Every day. Right. Thank you for answering that. Now, this is my expensive lip gloss. So today it's going to be worth £1 million there.
That's right.
Right? So, would you rather take that £1 million or be age 6 again with all the knowledge you've got now? And why? Which one are you going to choose?
Okay, so you're saying
I'm saying to you here,
this represents the £1 million.
That's £1 million, and that's my good lip gloss.
It's very cute.
You know, you take it and you run. And you give me the reason why, or you being 6 years old again, with everything that you've learned, all the self-love that you're doing and the journey. Which one would you take and why?
Do you think you know the answer already based on our conversation?
Well, it could be 50-50 still.
Okay. That's very good. That's very good.
Because the way you touch this is like, it could be 50-50 still.
That's very true. No, I thought you were about to say this is yours. Like literally what you created.
Oh, no.
So I'm all
No.
this is hers. Where do I buy it?
That's £1 million.
Got it.
You know?
So I'm taking $1 million.
You're taking $1 million?
Absolutely.
Nnandi, you're taking $1 million.
I am. There's so much I can do with that.
She's taking $1 million. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, wait, why?
A lot of people didn't, but you're taking $1 million. Come on.
Oh.
No, but this is you.
Oh, man.
I need to know your reason.
You know why?
Go on. I
feel the best that I've ever felt in my life.
Yeah.
I feel like, and it's probably you. It's probably your energy. You giving me some of that good feeling. But I don't want to go back.
You don't want to go back?
I've never wanted to go. I even have a song asking, can we go back? But it's only because of relationship that got, when you cross the line with a friend and you shouldn't have. I'm like, can we just go back to when we just were friends? But no. I don't have any regrets.
You got no regrets, which
I
is
don't
good.
have any
That's
regrets.
Very positive. I like that.
You know what? The regret thing was so much more easy for me to not have. I don't know why that was easier than some of the fears and different things.
Yes.
But I will say this. What I always knew about myself though was that I was a good person.
Yeah.
I knew that.
And you must affirm yourself with it every day. I affirm myself with affirmations like that.
Yeah.
I'm a great mum. I'm a great person.
Yes.
I'm loved. I affirm myself every day with those words. Just a few.
Yeah.
Affirm yourself.
But even as a little person, I knew. I was that person that would give you my last, literally the shirt off my back.
Yeah.
I put others before myself.
Yep.
I found out later was a bit of people pleasing. That was I didn't fully love myself enough though. That's also why I was putting other people, because not everybody's supposed to get that. And people took advantage.
Oh, big time. Yeah, big time.
But I say that to say, I know that I lived my life, and it doesn't mean that I didn't hurt feelings or do things that were wrong maybe. But I have always said to people, let me know, because I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
I might do something that, just let me know so I can make amends.
Yes.
And so I feel like I did my amends. And so now at this point I go, hey, if I did something that offended you, give me a call. Let me know. And if you don't have my number, that means you don't know me well enough for me to have offended you.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, why? What would I have possibly done if you don't actually know me, right? And so I that's a real thing for me, that I always try to consciously go, what am I putting out? What am I doing? What am I saying? Because I always want to make sure that I'm putting out, doing things that are positive. I just saw something yesterday on Instagram where someone said about this being a good person, or knowing if you are a good person, or by if you sit alone and you really check in with yourself, have you left people's lives better with you being in it, or have you made their lives worse?
Wow, that's something I have to meditate on.
I feel like I've done more good
But I still left.
You know what I'm saying?
I've had to leave.
Right.
Them.
So I don't mean you're staying necessarily. I'm talking about your presence.
Okay.
And what you were in their lives.
Yeah.
Did it make it better or did it make it worse? And if you can live life that way, I feel like there wouldn't really be the regrets. Now, as far as career stuff and opportunities and things like that, I always knew that opportunities are going to be there. But how am I going to meet those opportunities? Okay. So those would be the things that maybe I would have regret. But if anything, I would go, they're going to come around again. Okay. And now I know how to handle it when the opportunities do come around. I try not to live in the lack. Yeah. I try not to go, I don't have enough. Even everybody can have a little more money. I know that. I know. Me too, myself. But I try not to live there. I try to live in a space of things are going to get better and better and better and better. Yeah, very positive. I feel like I've tried to stay as healthy as I can. And I know people, there's people I went to high school with where that was kind of it for them. Okay, yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they're living kind of in the past. I feel like a lot of times those are maybe more the people that go, if I could go back, if I could go back. And I'm like, I'm like excited about the future. Yeah. That's the kind of, and hopeful about the future. That's, I don't know if that explains it. That does. No, it's very, very positive. And we need to, and we need to have thoughts like that, because I think what we seem to do in life is sit down on the past too much, you know? Yeah. Every little thing, I should have done this, you could have done it. Yeah. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, you could have done it, you know? Yeah. And you should keep on doing. And that's the thing. I was talking to my cousin who she's been supportive from day one. That's the one whose birthday's coming up. Yeah, she's a Libra. Shout out to Nene. Hi, cuz. Who's really more like a big sister. Hey, Nene. But we were just talking about the idea of, oh my God, going back. What you said, it was piggybacking off of, I shoulda, woulda, coulda. Yeah. And she asked me, which is so interesting, the question about regret and going back. And I think that was the thing. And I was like, well, Nene, you know me well enough to know, through the good, through the bad, through the ups and the downs, I kind of live my life like I'd rather have a life of, oh well, than I wonder if. Okay. That's a saying, by the way. I don't know who said it, but it's like, I can't do the, I wonder if. I got to go through it. I got to actually see and then be like, oh, okay, well, don't do that again. Try. Okay, pivot. Let's pivot. Yeah. I'm a pivot person. Okay. I can pivot. I thought, just to a friend of mine, I won't mention any names, but she introduced me to someone and I said, you know what? You seem very cool, but understand this woman right here, I love her. So understand, I like you now, but I can pivot. I can do a real quick pivot and I will act like I didn't even know you if you do something to my friend. So I feel like that about life. I feel like that, like it's ours. We can pivot. Yeah. Okay, we were going on this road. Okay, not quite right. Pivot. Now we're on this pivot. It's okay. It's okay to pivot. Good way to okay. Yeah. So that's why I will do a whole lot with this $1 million, you know, because I can pivot. Oh, thank you so much for answering that. Yeah, it's food for the soul. But you know what? You really have given me something with the appreciation post, because I've got myself a new book and it's just there. You know when you just get something, the journal, it's just there. Like, oh yeah. So now I've got a use for it now, because I was just gonna gift it somewhere, but you know what? I'm gonna take it on my retreat. Yeah, and don't leave it empty. No, and I'm only saying that because because it's just there. You know, it's pretty and it's just there. I know. I've gotten a few journals and I'm like, oh, this is so beautiful. I'm gonna want to write because look how cute it is. And then it's just there. It's just there. So now I've got to because I've made that promise now, that I've got to now take it with me and write about it. Yeah, and no pressure. Yeah. When I started off, it was just one thing. Okay. And then now I have a little list, you know what I mean, of different things. Like, so I'll go 10 things, but it started off as one thing. I would go, I'm breathing. Yeah, you know, like, even the things like that. The littlest things. You know, as I open my door,
I'm literally like, thank you, God, for giving me breath. I'm like that. Yeah. Because life can be taken so quickly, you know, and everything else. Yeah. So, Nandi, what's your favourite food, and can you cook very well?
Okay, so I'm going to say my favorite food is Ethiopian and Italian.
Oh. What is Ethiopian food? I don't think I've tasted that.
So you have the injera bread, and usually I was a vegetarian vegan for a very long. I blended it because at one point I did try to do vegan, which is that's no cheese, no dairy with the vegan, right? Along with the no meat. So I was definitely more of a vegetarian for most of my life.
So did you eat any fish?
No. I do now. Okay. But back then, so I actually, and one of my close friends is Ethiopian. Shout out to Kunji. But like I started from a high school trip to an Ethiopian restaurant. Wow. Interestingly enough, once I got to university, met my girl Kunji. She was like, that's not really Ethiopian. Like, we don't, And so I had home cooked Ethiopian food and thought, oh my God, this is amazing. But at the time, I just do the vegetables. Okay. And even now, I'll mostly just do the vegetables. But it comes on the bread, the injera, and you use bread as well to scoop up the food.
Okay, so you don't use forks or knives or nothing like that? Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, it's African food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, you can.
Yeah, but it won't be good. It won't be
But
right,
it's like, just, you can just...
And what do you cook well? Because you're the South, isn't it?
I'm the roots, the root, as we say, the root. Yeah. So my great, it's Mississippi. It's,
okay.
My dad was born in Oklahoma.
See, these are places I've heard
Tulsa,
of.
Oklahoma, and then raised in Omaha, Nebraska. So we went through that South and then migrated to the Midwest and then through California. So because a lot of black folk looking for better opportunities because, the South. Woo. And I'm talking about back in the day, right?
Yeah. That was rough, man.
Yeah. And it's just, and it's different, and racism forms in different ways because it wasn't like the East and like going New York or going California. It wasn't like they weren't racist. It just was a different type of racism. Yeah. But so the roots are there, but I'm California. And this is really me just stalling because I don't know how to cook.
No. Nandi, get out.
Shout out.
You're supposed to tell me that you make some of this and some of that. Get out. Honest to God, what?
Shout out to my husband.
Hubby. That's all I can say.
All I'm saying is you make a list of what you want.
Wait a minute. So you don't have to cook anything at all?
My boiled eggs are amazing.
Oh, God.
And my scrambled eggs are just as spectacular.
So nothing from the South. What?
Well, I'm not even from the South.
So
technically.
I'm
from, but there's no excuse. I really should know how to cook. But this is how much of a blessing my life has been.
Yeah.
My dad.
Just say that.
Oh, okay.
Morning, people.
Oh, hi.
This is Nandi who can't cook, by the way. Lord, oh, the eggs. Oh, gosh.
So let me tell you how God has changed my life. Because here's the thing. I just think it wasn't meant for me to cook.
Okay.
That's the story, and I'm sticking to it. Because here you go. My dad did the cooking in the house.
He did.
My mom knew how to cook, but my dad loved to cook. So I'm talking about dinners where that was daddy. And so I was, a guy cooking was not like not a normal thing. And it wasn't like one of the chores, right? Oh. So I can listen.
You clean good though.
I can vacuum very well. I can clean down a table and wash some clothes. So when I got to uni, you're away from home. I was away from home for the first time. All of my friends could cook.
Oh my word.
So when the cafeteria was closed and I would get hungry, I could just go to my friend.
Gosh, what a life.
Come on in here. Let's make you some food. Or here's some leftovers. So I didn't have to cook in uni. And then my first, you know, I won't say, well, the first one after boyfriend, after leaving out of, he did the cooking.
Ah!
The ex, the recent ex did the cooking.
Oh, did he?
And now my husband
does the cooking. Look how God works.
I'm just saying, so wouldn't you believe that it just wasn't meant for me?
So when he's cooking, do you watch him and think to yourself, oh, I wish I could do that?
When he's cooking, I am in the other room.
Waiting.
Reading a nice book.
Oh, God.
Watching a little bit of Netflix.
So can you bake? No.
I'm sorry. I don't go into the kitchen unless it's to clean or to get my plate. And my husband's so sweet. Sometimes he brings the plate to me, though. So that's, okay, so maybe that's the flaw. We talk about what your flaws are.
But not everyone, at the end of the day, you're not in the wrong, because not everyone's supposed to be a cook. Not everyone's supposed to be a mother.
I feel like that's an art. It's an art.
You know, it's not everything we're supposed to do. Really,
I mean, there's people that do it so well. I think sometimes you gotta know your strengths and your weaknesses. It really is what it is. You gotta lean into your strengths. I'm really good at eating.
But you know what I'm glad of? The fact that you admitted it. This is the greatness. That you admitted that you don't.
Do people not?
They just start it out and say, you know, something else, but you just.
It is a little embarrassing. It's bad. I know.
Which is great. Thank you so much for sharing that, and that you don't bake.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing. I try not to lie as well.
Yeah.
I know that's crazy.
No, that's good.
But you know what? I feel like where I've gotten on my journey is that I found that, and there's someone, it's like a Nietzsche or some of the a philosopher that said, true happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are the exact same.
Oh. That's already lifted their weight off of me.
When you can really achieve that happiness, that joy, because there's no contradiction in your body. There's no contradiction. Like I'm this way and I'm saying one thing and it just
it's very hard to lie. We were having this conversation the other day, me and my good friend. We were saying it's the hardest thing to keep up a lie.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
So at this stage, my goal is that what I think, what I say, what I do, it's all the same thing. And so lying doesn't really work. So I didn't even think about lying about that.
Yeah, no, because a lot of people would have lied. Because
it's embarrassing, I guess.
Being a woman and not being able to cook. But you said it with grace and I'm grateful.
Oh,
you know?
I'm American too. Let me stop. I'm like, listen, not all, obviously Americans cook, but I'm saying like there's not so much culture-wise. More back in the day, it was like that. You teach the girls how to cook, and like it was more, gender roles were a bit more defined in America. But as time went on, it wasn't so much like a prerequisite, like. You as a girl, you have to know how to cook.
And your mom never ever said nothing that you weren't able to cook.
And that's what no. She made fun of me for sure.
She did
for sure. Yeah. She still to this day, because you guys don't celebrate Thanksgiving, and that's an American holiday, which really.
Oh.
You know, it's really basically celebrating the massacre of Native Americans, because that's basically what that is, right? Columbus and that whole but what Black people did is we actually just use that because we get off work. That's a holiday. So our parents don't have to work, and family members don't have to work. So we use that as a way to just be thankful.
Okay. Oh, that's nice.
So Thanksgiving has become that for Black people for generations. It's been that where we just have a feast and we're thankful and grateful for the family. So we don't do that here in Europe. It's an American thing.
Yeah.
But when I think about making that huge spectacular dinner, so now that I have a husband, my mom's like, she'll give the recipes up, but she'll be handing them over. Because I can cut something.
So far you can cut, scramble, and boil.
But if I'm honest, I don't. I just stay out of the kitchen. Here's what I do.
Tell me.
I find what we're gonna watch. I pick the movie. I picked the movie.
So answer me this.
Yeah.
In case you do have kids.
Okay.
You're going to leave it all to your husband to be doing the cooking?
Well, I do. I have a stepson.
Oh, yes, yes.
And he does the cooking. And my stepson's learning how to, do a little more cooking.
Yeah, I'm just trying to picture it. Oh, my gosh.
I feel so bad.
That's too funny.
But,
No, but it's good because that is you. You've been honest with it. To me, it's funny because it's like, wow, I wish I had a chance like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people though, and that's the thing. I really didn't. I tried.
You tried. At least you tried.
I tried some spaghetti. Remember, my other is Ethiopian and it's Italian. I love Italian food as well. So I've tried the spaghetti. I tried things.
And what went wrong? I think you burnt it.
Yeah. Oh God. I wish it was burnt. It just wasn't. I just don't have the passion. I don't have a passion for it. There's some people you watch and they're like, with the seasoning and they're not even measuring and it's just love beaming out their hearts for the food. And what I know I can also do very well is that I can pick up a phone
or
get on the internet. And I can order like nobody's business.
Have mercy. What else can we ask for? So, Nnandi.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you this now. You're stuck on a desert island.
I'm on a desert island.
Right?
Yes.
You only got 3 things to bring.
Only got 3 things.
What are the 3 things and why? And be strategic. Don't just be thinking of, I need to bring my blah, blah. Think about you're going to be stuck for a long time. Now go.
So, I'm going to... quite frankly, I've asked this question and never thought of it for my own self.
Yeah.
So now,
it's a survival question I'm trying to ask in a way,
No. I would totally suck at that. Yeah? I'm probably dying within the next...
Only God knows what you'd eat. Lord.
Because hear me, I'm like, I'm going to bring my, Miles Davis.
You see? And how is that going to help you being stuck? This is what I'm saying.
It's all about peace of mind.
Okay, so be strategic.
My meditation tapes.
So you're going to bring your tapes. Okay, that's one.
No. In a real way.
Yeah. Think of it as a survival in a way.
I know. And my dad would be, I'm sorry, Dad. This is so sad. My dad was a Boy Scout.
Was he?
My dad is a country. He was a country boy.
So he didn't know how to do the fire and all this and that.
Oh my goodness, gosh. He was and he raised kids that are so city. I think I went camping one time and was like, this is terrible. I did like fishing. I did like that.
And that's what I want to do.
Like the water.
I want to do fishing. Yeah.
I love the water, just sitting, just watching it. But I say all that to say, so I suck is the point. I don't know what I do. Would he bring wood?
you have to think. And the thing what you cannot bring is toilet roll.
Well, but there's leaves.
Okay. Oh, wait, now you're thinking along the lines because that's too easy.
Okay, so I
3 items that you can manage until we come to save you.
A compass.
Oh, tell us why.
Well, that's direction.
Yeah.
And
is that to get off the desert island?
Well, it's just to kind of know where you are from point A to B, because if you're going around trying to gather things, where was home base at?
Okay.
So I think So some sort of compass that lets me know. I go back through. Let's see.
What's your second item? Lip gloss up while you're talking. And how are you going to survive to eat? That's what I want to know.
I'm just like, God, there's so much as a black woman. The lotion.
You see? All of that has to be...
Vaseline.
Because we have to be strategic. Because what if tomorrow the world ends?
So compass to know where I'm going. Some sort of like flare thing.
Flare thing?
Yeah, what are they're flares, right? It's the thing that it sparks.
Okay.
Because for 2 things. One, in case I do see like a helicopter or a plane or a boat, I can do with the flames. Okay. And that's usually how you can alert people that you're there.
Remember, you're stuck on the desert island. Okay?
So you're saying no one's ever coming for you?
No, we will come for you. But I'm talking like the Sahara Desert. So it's hot, dusty and sandy and dry. So far you've got a compass and a flare. Good.
Yes. Well, because also the flare can help with fire. So I can eat. It's like, so if I, you know, I'm able to catch a fish or there's some sort of animal or whatever, or some insect, I can cook it.
Okay.
So the flare has two
purposes for it. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
And your third item?
I'm gonna fail miserably.
I tell you.
Feels like a test now. I'm back at. Okay. Gosh, people usually answer these much faster, don't they?
Doesn't matter. Go and take your time. So let me just reiterate what Nandi's going to carry. She's going to carry a compass, right? She's going to be the Sahara Desert people.
Yeah.
I haven't been to a desert before, but it's very sandy, extremely hot. Nothing is around. Your throat will be dry. I'm just saying. So she's going to be a compass and flares to cook with. Remember what she said earlier about cooking? I'm just saying. To cook and do a fire. And to call somebody. I'm just saying about the cooking. And now we're waiting for a third installment of the day.
Oh my gosh. Well, but see, the thing about the water is you can't, you're not supposed to drink the ocean water just as it is, right? So then I'm like, I can boil the water and then I'll be able to drink the water.
That's too many things that you're bringing though, Nandi, because I only said 3 items.
Flare.
So the flare
with the heat, with the fire.
Okay, so what how are you gonna boil the water with the flare? Is that your third?
Well, I'll find a coconut that I can break open or something that I can use as some sort of, you know, grab the water with.
Okay.
There's things in nature that you can, you know, right?
So is that your third item?
Something in nature? No, that's already on the island.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do. This is terrible.
See?
I'm so much faster usually at questions.
This is putting you in an uncomfortable position.
It really is. I was doing so good in this interview. Now I'm dying. Okay.
So
you said it's really hot.
It's really hot.
It's really
it's sandy.
Okay, so I would bring
dusty as well.
So a tent. It would be the last thing.
Good girl. Finally, huh? Somebody, anybody, everybody, please. Well done. My God.
I told you I'm dying as soon as they drop me off. Like, I'm on that.
So there we have it. Nandi will bring a tent, a compass, and flares. And only God knows how she's going to cook. She'd have to eat berries, I'm sure.
The fire from the
But what
flare.
are you going to cook? What are you going to use?
So this is what you do. You gather. This is why I set the compass, because I'm going to be journeying around, finding and collecting.
And remember, it's extremely hot. So where's the hottest country you ever been to? If you've been really, really hot, you will know. By the time you're walking, you're dehydrated, you're this, you're that, you're sweating, you're tired, you're lethargic, you're fatigued. Yeah, I'm putting you uncomfortable.
Here's the flex though.
Oh, all right.
What I can say is that I'm pretty fit. I am. And wait, you guys use fit to be like
good looking and healthy as well.
I mean it in the American way. I'm glad I said something. People are like, oh, she's full of herself. No, I mean like I go to the gym a lot. That part of you remember I said I was an athlete from younger and then growing up, and then I went into fitness as a way to support myself. So I still from time to time will cover a cycle class or some sort of whatever.
Sorry.
Just to stay in the, you know, the gym and the working out. And I could eat better, but sometimes I am really on a good, for the most part, I eat pretty well. Sometimes I cheat though. So I say all that to say, like, I feel like I'm pretty
strong enough to run around in that desert.
Well, I'm not, okay, now you're putting too much on me.
I'm putting
She's putting too much on
because
I'm not running.
I'm putting you
on the island.
You know?
No. I'm just saying, and that's what the compass is for, because I'll travel a little bit one day, travel a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like I'll try this direction. I'll try that direction. You know, but to gather up the sticks and things to create where you put the food on, so that then I can heat underneath.
Heat up.
See, I'm thinking.
You see? I just wanted to put you in a comfortable position. How did it feel? Horrid, didn't it?
Oh my gosh.
Yes. But this is what we have to do. We have to be in an uncomfortable position to be strong.
Can I change my fear now?
Yes.
My fear now is someone asking me, what would you bring on a deserted island. That's the new fear. I had no idea. Look, she's creating phobias up here, ladies and gentlemen.
Because you have to be uncomfortable. We are too comfortable. We are too comfortable.
We are.
So
That's
it's
true.
nice to know that you can be in a comfortable position.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're not being able to cook and you're going to still heat up something is good.
Listen,
I commend you.
every day here is let me just be clear. Every day here, I'm in uncomfortable situations. I'm a foreigner. And I'm also an American. And I say that in a good way, but I also say it in a bad way, in that we're a bit spoiled about things. And we don't know as much as we should about the world. Right? Everything, they feed us so much American stuff. Now, I will say, to be fair, America is huge. It's huge. Like, it's, what do they say? How many times you can fit London into, you know what I mean? Like,
massive.
it's huge, you know, and you can bring in Italy and this and that, like, it just, United States is huge. So yes, we will be a little more thinking about America because there's so much land to cover, but there's so much that we don't know. So there were so many things that, you know, even with my parents taught me a lot, but she never fully prepares you for being somewhere else. So every day I am actually a bit out of my comfort zone. And it was interesting. An elder lady said to me, wow, it must be really different for you being here. And I was like, okay, it is, but in what way are you saying? And she was like, well, even culturally. So it's not even just me being an American coming here, but it's also culturally because I'm not Caribbean, I'm not African, right? So I definitely am a other. So even though we look the, you know what I mean? We're the same, we look the same. You know, my culture is very, so, you know, so I have some missteps and people laugh at me, and I'm sure it's very funny that I don't know how to cook, like things like that.
You know what?
Which again, not every there's Americans that know how to cook. I'm just,
But it was nice how you said it. This is the thing about it, because a lot of people, like I said, would lie and style it out. But you just came so clear. I can't cook. I could boil an egg, scramble, and that's it. And I just found that ever so refreshing to know that, you know, you're so honest with it.
Every day is kind of like, I still want to have those eyes of being new. Like, I don't want it to feel like, oh, I got it now. I got what London is. You know, I always just want to be like with those kid exploring type eyes and energy of just wanting to learn more and more and more and more. I have someone who is kind of like an auntie to me here who's from Dominica. And then I have a close friend who, you know, is from Northern England. And, you know, just like all these different, there's Jamaican, there's, you know, there's just so many different cultures that are here, Nigerian and, you know, Ghanaian. And, you know, it's just, I'm just trying to, you know, soak it all up. And it's really beautiful. But I've been that way always. Oh gosh, even back home, I get into an Uber or I go into a store or I'm anywhere. I'm always asking, where are you from? I don't want people to take that in a bad way. I'm not saying where are you from, like, where are you from? Because you don't belong here. I'm more just so interested. I met people that are from Brazil and from, you know, it's just, I want to know about different cultures and things.
It's good. I want to just, sorry, Nandi, sorry. Okay. So we have people. I just want to say thank you so much for joining. Morning, beautiful ladies. Thank you. Thank you. Very kind. Thank you. I want to say to Nandi, we ain't finished yet. We've got 12 minutes. But I want to know if you'll sing another song.
Oh.
Gosh. You have to.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wish I would have prepared
Doesn't matter, you come back again. Why are you complaining? And I'll put you in another unpredictable spot.
Yeah. So, one of the people that I admire so very much is Rochelle Farrell. Now, if you don't know who Rochelle Farrell is, she's probably one of the greatest singers of our time. Literally, her voice is an instrument. So if you know who Lettucey is, who, by the way, Lettucey is from my hometown, Oakland. If you know, Kelly Price and some of these powerhouse soul singers, they all kind of do a worshiping of her. She is phenomenal. So I took one. I'm gonna sing one of her songs, just a little tidbit of it, not too much. So, you know, that way I'll post it the full later. but she also wrote this song. She writes a lot of her songs, co-writes, but it spoke to me at the time, and so yeah, Rochelle Farrell.
Thank you. Somebody's just said shout out to Oakland. Oh, thank you, Demas.
Woo
There she is.
woo woo. West Side. I saw Ice Cube in December, I think, of last year. It was like he brought the West Coast to London. It was great. Okay.
None of that yet. Go on.
65 years must have been too much to bear for an insecure black man living on the verge of despair. Too much resentment, too much hate, for which there can be no easy escape. It's too late, nothing left to give. Not for your woman, you got none for your kids. It's too late, nothing left to hide. So you go your way and I'll go mine. My father and I don't get along. He's always right, I'm always wrong. We never talk, he'd rather hide. Preening his pride and pruning mine. It's too late, none left to give. Not for your woman, you got none for your kids. It's too late, none left to hide. So you go your way and I'll go mine. I'm gonna stop. The rest of that is usually a part of a segue that I do. I do it a cappella before I go into the full band, but yeah, I'll stop there.
That was real authentic music. Those who are asking, real authentic
Rochelle
singer.
Farrell.
You know?
I love the singer-songwriters, and so I do a couple of covers, not too many. I do a couple of covers in my set. One is Tina Turner.
Yeah.
And it's her version. So she wasn't the original. Who was the original? Ann Peoples. I Can't Stand the Rain. I can't stand the rain.
Oh, I love that
against
song.
my window. So I do do that. That's my tribute, especially now that she's gone. I'm just like, she's just
and you should play her because you look like her. Yeah, but I'm talking about the anime.
Well,
is it anime? Rosa, what's the anime? Bullock.
Anime Bullock.
Yeah.
No, oh, your original.
The original.
Okay, yeah.
That time. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, that striking resemblance. Yeah.
Oh, and it's so interesting because my grandmother, I take more after my paternal, my dad's mom, and I look at her sometimes and I go, you kind of Tina Turner-ish, you know, it's interesting, but I take it as a compliment, of course. But it's a Tina one that I do. I do a Tracy Chapman one.
Oh my God, that's my favorite.
Yeah,
I love Tracy Chapman. Oh my God.
Yeah, and I do the Rochelle Farrell one. Yeah. And
so where are you when you do this? Where's the gigs that you're
right?
at?
So listen, let me tell you guys. You guys are on the journey with me. You really are. So I've landed. I'm here.
Oh, okay.
So they've called me an overachiever my whole life. So I didn't just relocate. I got married.
Yeah.
And I'm a stepmom now. And so it was like figuring all of that out before I could now go, okay, I'm ready to get back into it here in London, whereas I was doing it in LA and New York. And so it's like, okay, so that's all beginning now. So there'll be gigs and things coming up. That's why I said, I am Blues Folk. Yes. I am Blues Folk.
Follow her there. Honestly.
That is honestly the first thing that you can do. Just go to Instagram and follow me. Yeah, everyone should be following me.
Please.
I am Blues Folk. And then the next thing, people ask me too, how do I support?
Yeah.
Right? How do I how do I support what it is that you're doing? Yeah, so you can support by shows, and those things you'll see the link on Instagram. Okay. But you can also support the I Am Blues Folk, the whole collective. So I have a store. and everything. And you can support with the I Am Blues Folk shirts.
Wow.
Right. So shirts, sweatshirts, all that stuff, that's there. But also becoming a member of Patreon.
Okay.
So on Patreon, everything that I'm doing, I'm only giving tidbits on Instagram.
Right.
It's really just kind of a way of letting you guys move to Patreon because they really have a great relationship with the artist. Where they allow you to, oh my God, Instagram, you know, they shuffle around things. So it's like people can't always see you on Instagram. They mess with, what is it called? The analytics, then the way in which, you know, and people go, you haven't posted it. And I'm like, you haven't seen it. Wait, let me send. And they're like, why didn't we see this? So they mess with your numbers. They mess with the people that have access to you. And so on Patreon, what I'm doing is putting all the episodes, all the sessions that we're doing, the 2 sessions, the tea time with nnandi55 about the celebrity gossip, and then with the twist, and then the artist, the artist circle, which happens every Sunday. That's gonna also be on Patreon, the full sessions of all of those, so that as a member you have access to it, because you may not be able to be there every week, right? It's online, so everyone has access, but you might not be able to, maybe the time doesn't work that day, maybe you went to church and you're on the, you know, you're in San Francisco, so you couldn't make it that day. So you'll be able to see all of the episodes on Patreon.
They just said it's called they mess with the algorithms.
The algorithms.
Thank you, Demas. Thank you so much.
You did that thing that happens where we're watching those game shows at home. We have all the answers. And then if we're there, we're like, I could not think of algorithm to save my life. Thank you
so much. Thank you.
But that, so I went, let me do Patreon, and that way you can just be a member. Literally be a member. You see everything. From there, it's like, you know, you get your monthly notice to know what's happening for the month.
Like a newsletter?
Yeah, well, but I do a video.
Oh, she does a video.
I do a video newsletter. But you know, it's all the things that, you know, that, and we even do tunnel tunes.
What is that?
I know. So tunnel tunes, I'm literally in the tunnel. So there's the ferry. That's the Woolwich ferry. Underneath, there's a tunnel. So I will be doing songs in the tunnel. You'll have access to that. There's a fun playlist that I do. People have known me for doing really amazing playlists, and I never give people access.
Pin her social media in the comments. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to. I'll get it and I'll put it on my thing. I don't know how you do it.
Everything is
or
I Am Blues
me
Folk.
a mod, then I can do it. Be a mod. Be a mod then. Whatever that is, you do it.
Please do it.
Because I don't know how to do it.
But I will say really slowly again.
She'll say it slowly.
I am blues folk. And blues folk is one word. Blue like the color or the music, blues, folk like
you
people.
You have to go into your settings on the live and make me a mod. Lord have mercy, what a lot of work. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
It's okay. But that's where I'm at Instagram, on YouTube, on like all the links are I Am Blues Folk.
Blues folk.
Yes.
Folk, not poke. Folk.
No, folk like people.
Is this people. People. Folk. Folk. Why am I shouting but you can hear me?
Oh, I know.
I know,
loud.
Isn't it?
It's me. I'm contagious.
Isn't it?
Because I'm just
she
so
can't
loud.
cook but she's loud. It's all right. It's folk. I am blues folk. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Is
Demas.
that right? My eyes are so bad. Yes, blues is plural. Yeah, blues.
Pin it.
Yeah.
When I go to my settings, I'll try and do it.
Thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you, Demas. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm not very
She's
tech
amazing.
savvy as well, so I couldn't do that like that. But you would think I wasn't, but I literally have all these links now that connects to the store, that connects to Patreon, that connects to, and you can find it all through Instagram.
It's cool. Thank you, my darling. We really appreciate you. So, Nandi, we've got 2 more minutes. What would you want to say to the world?
Oh my God.
She sang. I'm so grateful. Let me say 1 minute word, one thing in the minute of it. Thank you so much, Nandi, for coming and sharing your journey, singing. Talking about things off of the camera, you all know already, narcissism. You know what I'm like. I talk about it to everyone all the time. Me, I'm still reeling from it, not even hurt. We have to support each other no matter what side of the pond. Yes, thankfully she's here. She's in the UK. She's married here now, so yeah, she'll be here.
You guys got me. You guys got me. Well, you in South Africa.
South Africa, yeah. But it's been wonderful. Nandi, 1 more minute.
Okay, yes. Please. Practice looking in the mirror every day, no matter what you feel like you could work on, or this could be better, or if this, that, and tell yourself that you love yourself. I love me. I love me. Just say it over and over and over again. Just practice that as much as you can so that you become that and you really do start to have that self-love. It's all about loving yourself, and then you can love the community around you. Yeah?
Oh,
let's do that.
Thank you so much. I want to thank everyone for joining. Thank you all, TikTok family. Thank you so much. Thank you, Instagram. Thank you, Love the Beat Radio.
Thank you.
And I've been Goddess Jazzy. This has been Nandi, and I will hear and see you next week. Peace. I'm out. Later. Let me just do that. And I'm going to do that.